IGC News, Mima Ubia Aquaba, Hadia, Data and Hot News, and Amity, Bremo. Aduti, so we can subscribe to the channel now. Obody say, over subscribe to their channel. Dobe say, over click and subscribe button. Now, what barely notification. We have decided to be upload. When the first person out with Sabeka a video, I feel we are now like video, give us a thumbs up. Now, feel. Share my offer so now we may be here now who and someone apostle Ghana Memoano. I feel you here and someone abeto your so a KSM Kweku City Misa also the Nanoa to a EC a irregularities to say transfers are ya dia a transfer near dia register no some IEDja a nuti na NDC 4D enough is enough to more essential and no day for to my easy or see easy to Mensa tie with a prophet of you doing some oka tie no matter so ye tie to say easy why t3tt okay kora wo pese with na KSM and some do na atuga afan na no what say obeka sansi no mo say obeka sama NDC obeka so NDC side say national issue are affecting me affect your money mere kama no atum SM so it can be KSM and some of the what to be a money EC Mensa awada and some do na ready na EC yo ye and really na say wa money mo na fine na maintain ho ase eba wan hia na odi o mai apakoto asemu ye be say I say o money mo muta ho o makwan ma sa forensic audit ya NDC foka etimi da ho na obi ate ho ase na etimi up to abai ewo asumbi mu nya sa oye deni sa basabasa enye no ye hwehwe ewo Ghana ase eni bebi akọ na KSM ada sembe bredi a wodi efutuo so ama ye the president na do dankwa Akufo Addo nyegoti ye KSM ni sema wodi tuya fa ye isi hu senya abai obi ade na no
why the EC is becoming a lawless institution and census around this thing every 4 years. God has kept this country from a civil war. The EC is tempting fate.
God has saved Ghana from a civil war, but the EC is tempting fate. Mensah is not listening. They're not going by the law. It's very, very interesting. Oh my goodness. Once upon a time, Mensah was the very dynamic, I think he was the dynamic chairman of the IEA, Institute of Economic Affairs. And they were the ones that were actually organizing the presidential debates, And I don't know, I think at one time when she was the IEA, she actually put pressure on Charlotte say regarding an audit of the register. She actually mentioned that there needed to be an audit of the register. Now, why am I talking about all of this, folks? Just a couple of days ago, there was this huge rally called Enough is Enough. And this was about some terrible discrepancies that had been discovered with the register. And the NDC said, no, enough is enough. We need to get the EC to organize a forensic audit of the register. Let me say this before I continue. Ghana 4. There are things that you have to keep in mind. There are partisan issues. Every day I say this, and there are national issues. The idea may come from the party or a party, but trust me, the foundation is that it's for the whole nation. So all I say every day, please pay attention to this, that when the issue is regarding something that is national, it is all of us who are affected. For example, this Enough is Enough. Yes, it was organized by the NDC. The purpose of this Enough is Enough demonstration was to get the EC to pay attention to the irregularities with the register. Folks, when it comes to irregularities with the register, it is not a party matter. It is a national issue. It is a national issue. No, when I said I was going to talk about it, my friends, a few friends told me, KSM, they'll say, Charlie, you are speaking for the NDC.
You are watching NDC News on YouTube.
Thank you. If the NDC raises a national issue which affects me and the nation, I should shut up. Or if the NPP raises an issue and it's a national issue that affects me, I shouldn't comment because commentate because say, oh, NPP. So what? I think Ghanaians, we should start getting sick and tired of this tagging and labeling. Let's face the facts. This is a national issue. You saw the clip of these people. I showed it last week. Let me just show you the clip again. Of all the names on the register, people who have been transferred and they didn't even know about it. Just remind you, take another look at the clip.
What we have in hand today is the case that 2 polling stations in the Tamale South constituency and 1 in the Sanargo constituency, voters had turned out to respond to the invitation of the EC to check their names on the voter roll, only to be told that their votes have been transferred. This transfer of votes are unknown to the people. They did not consent to anything. They don't even know their way to Pusiga, let alone for anybody to transfer their vote to Pusiga.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the analysis of the data collected from the 176 exhibition centers in the Ejumako Enyam Esiam constituency, we observe that the total number of voters transferred into the constituency per their exhibition exercise has been unlawfully increased by 1,509.
So I am saying this is a national issue. I don't care. Look, what people should understand is that power expires. Nobody has power and money forever. Power and money, they all have their expiration date. Okay? Eventually, NPP will not stay on forever. NDC too will never come and stay on forever. Eventually, power will expire. But the national issues remain the same under any administration. Say NDC or say NPP. If it's a national issue, it's a national issue. They don't change. So we as citizens must be mindful of what issues are national and which issues are partisan. If it's a national issue, we should all make sure that the right thing is done. Folks, why would Bentel, by the way, he's now the president of Imani, say that God has protected Ghana from a civil war, but the EC is tempting fate? Why is he saying that? These are statements I've made for a long time, that this election coming, Ghana is going to be at the tipping point. Those of you who didn't hear me and who doubt that I've said this before, go and check the YouTube and see what I did. I think it was called Mensa and the Line of Fire. I said Ghana is at the tipping point. And on December 7th, it's a very, very, very crucial day because that is the tipping point for Ghana. We're going to tip into chaos or tip into getting a fresh new start to put ourselves together again. This is the tipping point for Ghana. Don't have any doubts about that. That this election is a tipping point. We're going to tip into chaos or tip into a new start. And that's what Imani was saying. Simply this, that we have been saved from a civil war by God. That one, I and him, is a different issue. I don't think it is God who has prevented Ghana from getting a civil war. If it's God who is preventing Ghana from getting a civil war, then December 7th, the same God will prevent Ghana from a civil war. It is not God who is preventing Ghana. It is the independent, conscientious judgment of the electoral commissioners that is preventing Ghana from a civil war. Because the electoral commissioners are doing the right thing. They are going by the law. They are being open. They are being transparent. They are being fair. And that is what is saving Ghana from a civil war. It's not that anybody can come and be unfair and be not transparent and do all the wrong things. But God loves Ghana so much that he will prevent a civil war. So that's why I disagree with Benson a bit, but that's not the argument today. He is saying that we shouldn't tempt fate. And what he's saying is that let's not push it. Let us do the right thing. So yesterday there was this, you all know there was this demonstration nationwide called Enough is Enough. And there was this apostle who was in the demonstration, and what he said was very, very significant. Let's take a quick second to listen to the apostle.
I just want the easy to understand one thing. That listen, there's other stakeholders. Call them together. Let them do. If somebody call for a sick audit, somebody also has a call for it. So do the same thing, so that there will be peace. Because, look, no matter be the case, NPP will never be in power forever. Do you understand? She will also never be there forever. And somebody, posterity may judge her. Open up and do your right thing. As a man of God, I will tell that, listen, if I'm speaking from my pulpit, I will tell reason. Because no, that even Rollins left power. Even Rollins, we can. He left. How much for these people? Watch this, be careful. Don't let anybody buy you. Don't let anybody influence you with money. Do the right thing. Men of God should come out and speak about this matter. 2015, 2016, the men of God, especially the Christian Council and the Peace, they were strong on Jamama. Very strong. Any statement they'll come out. Any statement they'll come out. But why is it that 8 years now you've kept quiet? Man of God, have you gone for money? Man of God, have you gone for V8? Why are you not talking? 8 years now you're not talking.
You heard the apostle. In short, all he was saying is Mensa. You know, listen. Because if you don't, folks, that's what Benton was talking about. You are tempting fate. Look, this election we are going into is very, 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 very crucial, and we can't mess with it. If we mess with it, you know, I think there was somebody I was talking to, and this is what I told the person. I said, maybe the arrogance of power. Listen to this. So, maybe the arrogance of power will not allow us to listen and give a good judgment because of arrogance of power. Me independent, me Ethiopia. You know, so that is the arrogance of power. So I say maybe the arrogance of power will not allow Mensah to tear. The arrogance of power will not allow her to listen. But this is all I'm saying to all the people in power now who have the power to be, you know, I am saying this. If we allow the arrogance of power to make us tone deaf, we are going to become victims to the power of arrogance. As someone can, Pacho, I'm going to say it one more time, and then you can think deep and listen to what I'm saying. Let me repeat. If the arrogance of power, Muti, if the arrogance of power is going to make us tone deaf, very soon we'll become victims to the power of arrogance. And that's what I'll say for now. And let's watch things. Folks, we have gotten to the point in our nation where we are confronting a very, very, very historic election. Any way you look at it, and I've said this before, it is historic. If Mahama wins again, it is historic because he's been president before, he's gone out, he's tried again, he wasn't voted for in his comeback, and if he should win, it's a historic comeback. No question about it. If Bawumia win, it is going to be very, very, very historic too, as well, because no party in this country has had 3 terms back to back to back to back. ABC that. So if Bawumia should come, it is very, very historic. Chedaba is historic. The youngest man from the block to come and upset it historic. Alan was one time with the NPP, and he has now defected and formed his own movement, and he's now calling a movement for change, and it is so different. And if he should come, it is historic. So folks, I'm saying that either way, whatever happens is going to be a very, very historic thing. And I'm saying this to suggest that it has become a very, very, very crucial thing. This election is very, 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 very crucial. You know? And there's so much at stake. It is very, very, very important, and so much at stake. It's important for the NDC to come back, to come and show that after all the propaganda of incompetence and the insults on Mahama, and after everything that eventually the NPP has been, NDC has been vindicated, and they have come back to power. So that is a very crucial thing for the NDC. It's a crucial message to all of Ghana. It's going to change the politics of Ghana forever. If after all the lambasting that we give to Mahama and all the tax of incompetence and the corruption and everything, and then he leaves power and 8 years later returns, trust me, trust me, it means a lot to the history of this country. So you should know, understand why this is a crucial thing and why NDC is determined to kick the NPP in the butt. If Bawumia comes back, Bawumia is suffering from such a credibility deficit. It's not even funny. All the things he said about the economy and the CD and the dollar, everything has proved to date that he was totally wrong and clueless about what he's talking about. But he says he's coming back. And if he should come back, the message he's sending to Ghanaians is that just make sure that you get the power and amass all the wealth, and you can stay in power as long as you want and come back when you want. So for him too, it's very, very important for the MPP that he comes back. For Alan, for Cheddar, all of this, I'm saying this. And the conclusion of all of this, December 7th, it's going to be very, very, very critical. And Mensa,
you are watching Juicy News on YouTube.
That is the more reason you should find this forensic audit and do this audit. Let everybody understand that, okay, we did, the register has been fixed, is open, the IPAC, everybody has come to terms with the fact that you have done the right thing. If we all come to terms that you have done the right thing, and that the election is free and fair, and the right thing has been done, we all have faith and confidence in the register. When we go to the election, whoever wins, wins. We know that the right thing was done. We were a part of the creation of the right thing. All the parties, Ghanaians. We all know essentially the right thing was done. This election was free and fair. Bawumia winia, hey Bawumia, you have won. The election was free and fair. Everything was in the open and transparent. Owusu. Mahama, if you win, you've won. Everything was free and fair. That's the whole thing. That's why people like me and Imani and the Apostle there and plenty others are calling for a free and fair election. What is there to be afraid of? You know, I mean, to me easier if I'm the EC. And it's almost more forensic audit. Okay, fine. KPMG, some more. Whoever is there, whoever. Let's come. Let's do the forensic audit. We have done it. We understand that it's been done. The coalition will lose. Hey, say after all of this, now some will lose. Only case. But as it stands now, where there are all these complaints about illegal transfers and the wrong moves and the lack of accountability and transparency as it stands now, if they should go and then NDC loses based on what we have now, and they start the challenges and all the other wahala comes with it, what do you say? Is it so difficult to get all the stakeholders together? Together, we have time. We have time to make sure that the right thing is done. What is so difficult about it? I don't see what is so difficult about coming up with a credible register. I mean, just you. And as a matter of fact, very, very interesting, after the demonstration in Kumasi, Nana B sent out a tweet. And take a look at what he wrote. NPP to resist strongly any attempt to introduce any private institution into the operations of the EC. It shall never happen. Listen to the statement though. It will resist any attempt to introduce any private institution into the affairs of the EC. Which private institution? Like if we tell KPMG to audit, that will mean that a private institution has been introduced to the EC and we shall resist that. I mean, Nana B, Pacho, think about this. So you are the people who are fooling. Maybe you haven't heard it, but I'm sure you have. If you haven't heard it, let me tell you. The rumor is that there has been so much loot in this country. Whether it's a rumor or whether it's true, you tell me that the looting has been extraordinary, phenomenal loot, And so the rumor is that many of you out there, the supporters, are hoping that this loot will never be exposed. You need credibility to that. With this anger, say you resist any attempt to streamline the register. You resist it. I didn't ever resist. People have asked, yes, streamlining idea, no. Okay, yes, streamlining, no. I'll be the first to say, yes, streamlining, because I want to prove to you that we have nothing to hide. But when you start talking about when you resist it, you come across actually there's something you want to hide, whether you like it or not. That's how you come across. What is there to hide? Be open, be transparent. If you know that everything is on the money, be open and be transparent. So folks, that's just to let you know, and this is just to tell Jean Mensah, Pacho Tie. Listen to the voices that are appealing to you, that let's just get the right thing done. Is it so difficult? And once again, the right things have been done and the civil war has been prevented in this country because people in your position have always chosen to do the right thing. And that's the end of the discussion. And then electoral commission, it is your duty and responsibility to make sure that things are free, fair, and transparent. It is your duty. It is not the duty of God. So if they are not free, fair, and transparent, and you push us into a civil war, it is not an act of God. It is an act of the irresponsibility and the intransigence of the EC. Tempacho, we want to be at the position so that we can jubilate whoever wins and say they win free and fair. And if you don't win for some court, you didn't win. End of discussion. Let me end by saying this, folks.
Juicy News on YouTube.
Ghana is in a very, 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 very turbulent era. Folks, the era right now in Ghana is very turbulent. Do you know what is causing the turbulence? Galamsey. Galamsey is destroying this country. At this point, let me say a big up to Okitichi Afrifa for letting this fight against Galamsey come back again with such vim and vigor. Let me salute people like Captain Smart. Way before Okitichi Kra started his action, no Kahwasem. Let me give a big thank you to Mr. Kenneth Ashigbe, who has always been constantly talking against Galamsey. Now it is back in the news. And I was saying I was giving a big up to Okitiche Mensah because he went on the grounds, he went there, he actually caused the citizens' arrest of 3 Chinese. 3 Chinese. And because of what Okitiche done, the youth have been inspired now. Trust me. The youth have been inspired now. And in so many of the mining areas and mining towns, the youth are now charging at this illegal miners, saying, no, we have to take our land back. This is the situation we are in Ghana now. The youth are upset. The youth are angry. The youth are frustrated already with this Galamsey wahala. Easy. Don't add election wahala to the tense situation that Ghana is in now. Don't. And you have the power to do it. And Mr. President, let me appeal to you now, Mr. President. We're a constitutional lawyer, and that's your claim to fame. That you know the Constitution. You have great respect for the rule of law, Mr. President. You have great respect for the Constitution. So, Mr. President, with all due respect, when things like may hand you over power, may hand you over power, it shouldn't come out of your mouth, Mr. President. And for Tao, what broso? You are above that petty politics, Mr. President. Me hand over there, me hand over China. Mr. President, you are above that. We are paying to do. You have too much respect, and your background is actually constitutionalism. You believe in the rule of law. That same rule of law that permitted Muhammad to hand over power to you peacefully and go. That same rule of law that permitted Rawlings to hand over to J. Kufuor. The same thing that that allowed J to hand over to Mills. You have it too. That same power. But yours is different because apart from everything, constitutional law is your thing. So some words like me hand over power net and I me hand over power China should never come from your lips, Mr. President. With all due respect, it should never. This is what has inspired people like, what's his name, Abronye, to become so violent. Wound to me. We have 100 millions of winning elections. Bawumia Campaign. It is your words, Mr. President. Leader, the way a leader, you are the top.
Yo, it for winning and some of your KSM, Kweku Sintimisa, what it took, what it Afutu and my easy, Mensa, I would say, yea, in my year easy, a year voter register, Munsem Bibri, illegal transfers near the NDC for say, Henneha, Yampene, year calling for forensic auditor easy. FPC Wobema Sadiano, Etini Apaso, and on Aquay, Sembibra, KSM Maria Tiawada, and Sembro Dara, and E. Because GC so and our Reno, so we subscribe or Modian say over subscribe to channel Sansa Hadia, latest and hot news and Kwa and Amade, Bremo. We are now feel like if you give us a thumbs up now, share my offer for so now we will be here now, and summer Ekoso, Ghana Memo Hano. Also bit me share what you fire and some way now comment boxing in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.